Picture this. Two neighbors, America and Canada, best friends for decades. They shared everything, sugar, pets, even finishing each other's sentences. Then, America gets a new homeowners association president, Donald Trump, who decides the friendly vibe is over. Suddenly fences go up, sugar comes with a bill, and accusations fly. Across the pond, Ireland watches the drama, popcorn in hand, and starts thinking about new friends. For years, Ireland's path to success ran through the US. The American dream was the ultimate destination, but now, Ireland is looking north, intrigued by Canada's calm. This is a geopolitical recoupling. Ireland, with deep ties to America, is now choosing Canada as its North American partner. It's not just about trade, it's a cultural and political pivot. One leader's actions can push away even loyal friends, while another's quiet reliability can make them the new favorite. Canada, the quiet neighbor, is suddenly the cool kid on the block. If countries like Ireland start seeing Canada as the more stable, reliable option, that changes everything. It's a quiet revolution, trade agreements and travel stats, not fireworks. The world is re-evaluating its relationship with America, and the feedback isn't glowing. Canada's moment has arrived. How did the US-Canada friendship sour? It started with Trump's favorite move, tariffs. Tariffs are taxes on imports, meant to boost local buying, but in reality, they just breed resentment. Trump slapped tariffs on over 90 countries, with Canada getting hit hardest. Tariffs jumped from 25% to 35%. The justification? Canada wasn't helping enough with drug trafficking, a flimsy excuse. It felt personal, not practical. This wasn't a minor spat, it was economic war on America's closest ally. Imagine your best friend sending you a bill for every favor, with interest. Canada, led by new Prime Minister Mark Carney, didn't just accept it, they started looking for new friends. The tariffs weren't seen as negotiation, but as betrayal. Trump's America First strategy was supposed to help the US, but it dismantled decades of goodwill. The message: in Trump's world, there are no friends, only competitors. Canada was pushed away, and countries like Ireland took note. America was getting lonelier. Canada didn't just complain, it pivoted. Prime Minister Mark Carney declared the old US relationship over and launched the Anyone But America tour. Canada started making new friends worldwide, and the world responded. Canadian travel to the US plummeted. Car crossings dropped 34% in August 2025. Airlines added new routes everywhere, but the US trade followed. Exports to the US fell, while exports to the UK surged 63%, and Europe and Latin America saw big gains. Canada was diversifying and business was booming. A Buy Canadian movement swept the nation, sales of American products dropped, and Canadian culture flourished. Provinces even pulled American liquor brands from shelves. Canadians voted with their wallets, turning away from American goods. This was more than policy, it was a cultural shift. For years, Canada lived in America's shadow. Trump's policies pushed Canada into the spotlight, sparking a new sense of nationalism. Canadians embraced their own music, TV, and identity. Canada realized it didn't need to be America's sidekick. It could be its own star. The world was watching. Enter Ireland. Ireland's bond with the US is legendary. Millions of Americans claim Irish roots, and St. Patrick's Day at the White House is iconic. So, for Ireland to look past America and toward Canada is huge. Why the shift? Pragmatism. Ireland, as an EU member, needs stable, predictable partners. Under Trump, the US looked chaotic. Tariffs, unpredictability, and a leader who saw allies as burdens. Canada, by contrast, offered stability and global cooperation under Mark Carney. For Ireland, Canada was the safer bet. But it's more than economics. Both Ireland and Canada know what it's like to live in the shadow of a bigger neighbor. This shared underdog status creates empathy and connection. When Canada stood up to Trump, Ireland saw a familiar story, asserting independence against a giant. Plus, Carney's Irish heritage built a personal bridge. Diplomacy is about details, and this detail mattered. Ireland wasn't just picking a new partner, it was finding family. At the heart of this story is a clash of leaders: Trump, the brash builder, and Carney, the calm banker. Trump's style is loud, confrontational, and zero-sum. He builds walls and tears down old alliances. Carney, a former central banker, is all about data, strategy, and building bridges. Where Trump disrupts, Carney stabilizes. Carney's election was a direct response to Trump. He promised to stand up to US pressure and keep Canada independent. Canadians wanted stability, not chaos. Carney became the anti-Trump, and that appealed to countries like Ireland. In a world craving predictability, Carney's steady hand was a magnet. Trump's unpredictability created anxiety. Carney's approach inspired trust. Leaders and businesses want to know the rules. Carney delivers, Trump doesn't. That difference is reshaping alliances. This Canada-Ireland friendship isn't happening in a vacuum, it's sending shockwaves worldwide. The US, long the center of global alliances, is suddenly facing real competition from its closest friend. The Buy Canadian movement and trade pivot mean real economic losses for America. Billions in exports, fewer tourists, and lost business. When Canadian companies drop American products, US firms feel it. Air Canada cancels US routes, adding flights to Europe and Asia. Connections shift. The message: push your friends too far and they'll find new partners. Other countries are watching and learning. If Canada can pivot, so can they. This could lead to a more fragmented global economy, with new trading blocs forming. America's soft power, its ability to attract and persuade, is eroding. The American dream is losing its shine. When your best mate stops calling, it's hard to rally the group. The world is moving on. So, what does this mean for the future? Is American dominance fading? Ireland choosing Canada over the US is part of a bigger trend. The post-war order, built on American leadership, is being tested from within. The world is shifting from a US-centric system to one with multiple centers of power. Canada, the EU, and Asia are building their own networks. America isn't irrelevant, but it's now just one major player among many. It has to compete for friends, not just assume loyalty. This new world is messier, but maybe more balanced. The story of Ireland, Canada, and the US is a lesson in friendship. Loyalty is a two-way street. You can't bully friends and expect them to stick around. In the end, being the nice guy might just be the smartest strategy of all.